and Sean just quietly exits the operating room. With the last stage of connecting blood vessels, the surgery was a success. There was thunderous applause from the audience, but not a single applause is for Sean. Afterwards, Sean found the director again, expressed a desire to return to surgery, but the director still has the same reason as in the previous episode. Reject again. Sean finally broke out, but nothing has changed.
I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon! Dr. Han, I am a surgeon!
Not only that, director Four-Face and fired Sean Tran, desperately breaking his favorite scalpel model. The sudden heavy rain seemed to be sending him off. He stood in the rain and gazed at his dream. One last float. Can Sean go back to the hospital? Nirvana Rain continues to be updated. The man threw Sean to the ground with an elbow, then another kick to Sean's chest. Little do you know, the quick kick nearly cost him his life. The next second, the man falls to the ground by himself, unconscious, but that's perfectly normal. Fight in front of Sean. Cancer starts. He dares to fight. Tran, don't worry, at least a tumor. Although beaten, but out of medical ethics, Sean still took him to the hospital and assists doctors in investigating the cause of the man's mysterious collapse. The doctor drew blood for testing, but the test results revealed that the man was normal. This surprised Sean. After all, meeting his patient, but no one can slip away with a small illness after being fired. Not even passive, Sean still sneaks into the man's ward to check on him. Looking at the data on the life monitor, a map of Sean's brain structure comes to mind. Sean instantly found the cause of the man's illness.
You need immediate treatment.
What? For what? For what? For what?
Lean.
But I'm halfway there. Sean fell to the ground in a strange way. It turned out that his left chest rib was fractured by the man in order to deal with the accumulation of blood in the chest cavity in time, resulting in coma. The man was also a little scared by Sean's words. He described to the doctor before Sean passed out what to say to him. The doctors didn't care at first, but just then, the man's life monitor went off the alarm. He's dying, but the doctors couldn't find the cause of his illness. On the verge of death, Sean finally woke up. It turns out that before he passed out, noticed an active lump in the man's neck. Indicates that the man has an aortic arch aneurysm, and his movements are erratic. Proof that he has panics not insane and is not poisoned. Doctors know the cause. Successfully wrested the man from the hands of death. The dean personally visited Sean in the ward. Sean creates miracles one after another and save lives. Finally got the attention of the hospital board. The board has decided whether to put Sean back in the hospital. A vote was taken, but the director made it clear that there is him, but not me. Most people choose to be on his side in times of despair. The dean spoke.
Just as you have the power to fire someone under your supervision, so do I.
You're gonna fire me to save Dr. Murphy.
Neither am I.
The patient specifically hired a luxury car worth tens of millions come to the hospital for a checkup. I deliberately got a wedding dress before coming to the hospital. Why is it so grand to see a doctor? It turns out that the two newlyweds just had a wedding. The bride's body is in trouble. Lucky, Sean checked and found just common uterine fibroids. Just do a simple surgical excision. Little do you know that the disease is far from being so simple. When Sean cuts open a woman's lower abdomen, I found a huge tumor on my uterus and it's already spreading. All organs in the abdominal cavity were spared because the tumor is too extensive. There's no angle at all to cut it all off. Women can only wait to die slowly, but luckily he met Sean. Sean went through a lot of information and then I came up with an incredibly bold treatment plan. First, remove all organs from the woman's abdominal cavity, and then we operate outside the body to remove the tumor, and then you put all the organs back in. Although the success rate of surgery is extremely low, but I finally see hope to survive. But women are hesitant. It involves so many organs. Even if the surgery is successful, may also cause diabetes, a series of complications such as liver failure. I'm going to be on dialysis for the rest of my life. He doesn't want his husband to live the rest of his life. Can only be wasted on the disease-ridden self. But the husband is very determined, like the wedding vows in the morning. No matter the disease or health, I would like to be with you. The woman is quickly sent to the operating table, and they started cleaning out his cancerous organs one by one, then successfully placed the organs back into the abdominal cavity one by one. But I haven't had time to be happy yet. There were complications. The color of a woman's small intestine darkens and fuse. This means that the small intestine has started to die. A few hours later, the woman woke up slowly in the hospital bed. The surgery was a success, but she noticed, I have a strange doctor by my side. It turned out that due to necrosis, resection of the intestines, it has to drain the waste from the rest of the body. For the rest of her life, she can only replace the back of the ileostome to dispose of excrement. Then the husband took her hand tightly.
They'll teach both of us.
The paramedics took their time. A hero covered in blood, sent to hospital. He met a 19-year-old girl at a barbecue in the morning, but molested him and stepped forward to stop him. Unexpectedly, a fat pig dressed in a boy, seriously injured with toast, 10 centimeters open tear on cheek, comminuted fracture of jaw. But the man didn't make a single shout the whole time, because when doctors treat wounds, found that he had lost his voice forever and the ability to chew solid foods. When doctors break the news to man, he just had tears in his eyes to say it was okay. You have to lose weight anyway. The doctors were moved by the man's optimism. They're trying to find solutions that can't save men. The only way is, without affecting the functions of other parts of the man's body, find suitable bone and muscle for transplantation. Until the early morning, everyone got nothing. Colleagues began to give up one by one, but Sean didn't. He believed that a human body has 640 muscles and 206 bones. There must be a suitable permutation for transplantation. He is responsible for justice and courage. I'm responsible for curing him. The sleepless night finally allowed Sean to find a way. Extraction of vascular free valve, suture it to the arteries and veins of the face, then move the packs up. But this surgery has never been done before. There are too many unknown risks. It can even lead to death. When doctors informed men of the risks, he typed no on the clipboard without hesitation. Surgery. But the next second, in the operating room, Sean perfectly frees the blood vessels, suture with facial arteries and veins, but just about to start dealing with chest fatigue, the man's blood pressure began to drop sharply. Turns out there was a large clot in the carotid artery. Emergency rescue was launched immediately. A few hours later, Sean looked at the man in the mirror and smiled. The surgery was a success. Everyone's heart felt relief. However, at the same time, there's another person who's even happier. He is the girl who was rescued by a man. During surgery, she has been praying for the man in the hospital. Now, her expression at the man became affectionate. My, have good intentions, find a blessing. Your kindness, it will always bring you surprises and good luck inadvertently. The doctors rushed to the ward with confused faces, performing liver surgery on a patient because surgery is approaching. They don't know the patient's personal information. I don't even know if it's a man or a woman. Just walked into the VIP ward. They were stopped by a black bodyguard. After repeatedly confirming the identity, let them see the patient. It turned out to be a political figure in the beautiful country, the kind that can run for president. After a brief shock, the doctors began to introduce the details of the operation. We need a hepatic shunt, treating liver damage caused by politician's gene. And then they were shocked by what they said.
My liver is damaged, but that's not the cause. I've been poisoned.
But the doctors looked at the test reports in their hands. I don't agree with him. Toxicology test was negative. KCNN. 3 genetic testing confirmed. The cause of his illness was inherited from his mother. He might just be persecuting delusional. The surgery was a great success. He can be discharged from the hospital after a few days of recovery. But what everyone didn't expect was, that night, Zenka's condition further deteriorated. The doctors couldn't figure it out. Zenka was furious. He even threatened to impose sanctions on the hospital. In the nick of time, Sean noticed that there was a bottle of Hercules pills in the passenger bag. The politician explained that it was Chinese herbal medicine, natural pollution-free. But Sean noticed something unusual. He took the Dolly pills for testing. Sure enough, politicians are really poisoned. He's poisoning himself. Dolly pill test results show that it does not contain any Chinese herbal medicine. Its main ingredient is acetylmorphine. This is the active ingredient in Viagra. These doses are usually not life-threatening. People with liver problems can't take it for a long time. Could have serious consequences. There may be false claims by pharmaceutical companies. Here, this politician spit fragrance. Sean silently observed 3 seconds of silence for the pharmaceutical factory. The crisis is finally lifted, but no one thought. Autism Dr. Sean. He collapsed during an operation the next day. Even just dropped it. Half the patients were running out the door. This is an incredibly simple surgery to remove the cancer. An experienced surgeon, it collapsed on the spot.
Can't do this.
What can you do?
No,
Don't. No.
no.
The assistant doctor looked confused. What did he see in his abdomen? In the next second, Sean directly threw down half of the patients in surgery, leaving the operating room. What the hell is going on here? It turned out that a few days ago, woman diagnosed with esophageal cancer. Although surgery to remove the cancerous esophagus can be cured, but she will need to eat through the gastroesophagus for the rest of her life. This is for a woman who is a chef. It was a bolt from the blue. Fortunately, the surgery is not complicated, but how seriously does Sean take this surgery? But far more than any previous surgery. Because of this surgery, it is also the hospital's promotion assessment for her. As long as the surgery surgery can't be done independently. He was born with autism disorder. It's like getting everyone's approval, even if this surgery is for him. Already a piece of cake, but he was prepared. Finally came the day of surgery. Take the number 10 scalpel. Skillfully slit open a woman's abdomen. Everything went very smoothly. Promotion seems to be on the board already. But just then, see what's going on in the abdominal cavity. But Sean just collapsed.
No. No. No.
What do you see?
Can't do this.
The next second is even more straight. Drop the patient out of the operating room. Sean's emotions outside the corridor could not be calm for a long time. Under the questioning of a colleague, he finally revealed something. It turns out that when he examined the upper end of his intestine, discovered there is a larger tumor-free esophageal area than expected. It can be done by transplanting part of the small intestine to replace the removed esophagus. Is that so? Women will no longer need to rely on the gastroesophagus. This surgery is very complicated, means she can't do it on her own. Therefore, the hospital's assessment cannot be completed. But for this time, cannot be completed.